about. I understand what you mean. I think what I think you're trying to say
We need to
is,
recalibrate what we should be freaked out about.
yeah, and we should. There's a think about. There's a speech that Ronald Reagan gave once where he was like, "Imagine how our perceived differences would dematerialize if a threat from another world were to show up on our doorstep. And I think, does not such a threat already exist?" And the whole point of that was that he was saying if aliens showed up tomorrow and threatened the entire world, everybody would get on the same page really quickly.
And
And
he's right.
yeah, and I think he is right. And so that's what I think you're saying. Is like, let's
That is what I'm
imagine.
saying.
So there's a socially. So there's a whole bunch here. The first thing is that talking about like, look, I just want to focus on the well-being of my family and not have to think about, all of these racial issues. I think that's Sam Harris's also point. A person of color would say that's white privilege. That is your white privilege, not having to think about these problems. That when a person of color wakes up, they have to think about those problems because being non-white is a condition that has been put on them rather than they've chosen to participate in. And I think that Sam even acknowledges that in his talk where he's like, I don't have to think about it. He
No, he
even
did. No,
says,
he said that very clearly. You're right.
yeah,
He did.
that took me in my life a while to accept, I think, which is that is white. That's what white privilege is, and it's difficult for, I think, white people, and especially I think white men maybe, to appreciate that because we don't ever think about it. It's like, if you're a woman, there's a great Dave Chappelle talks about this in the Bird Revelation, that he's like, one day he made $25,000 in a comedy show that was just given to him by a bunch of drug dealers who were trying to launder money. They were trying to clean a bunch of money, and they gave him $25,000 cash, and he had to take that at 1 a.m. in New York in the 90s back to Brooklyn on the subway, and which is like he thought, I'm going to get killed.
I
Because
heard him tell that story.
yeah, it's a great story. And the
It
point
is.
that he did, the reason he told that story is he was like, women are walking around with $25,000 between their legs all the time. And to just be a target, to just walk around in life and be a target of stronger, men who want something from you is terrifying. I